대회 준비부실과 여러 논란 속에서도 2023 세계 스카웃 잼버리의 공식 일정이 K-팝 콘서트와 함께 모두 마무리되었습니다. 공식 일정은 끝났지만 몇몇 국가의 대원들은 한국에 남아 본격적인 여름휴가를 보내고 있는데요. 스웨덴 잼버리 대원들은 부산으로 이동해 광안리 해수욕장에서 바다를 즐기고 있고, 영국 대원들도 강원도에 도착해 구곡 폭포와 레고랜드에서 즐거운 시간을 보내고 있죠. 155개국에서 약 4만 명이 참석한 큰 행사였던 만큼 행사가 끝나고도 전 세계 반응이 쏟아지고 있는데요. 캠핑이 잼버리의 전부는 아니다. 아이들이 멋진 시간을 보냈다면 그것으로 다 좋았다. 삶이 계획대로 흘러가지 않을 때 살아낼 기술을 배웠기 때문에 더 큰 경험을 얻었다. 내 아이는 그곳에서 더 큰 시야를 얻었을 것이다 라고 말하는 학부모를 비롯해 우려했던 것보다는 훨씬 긍정적인 반응을 보이는 나라들이 많았습니다. 미국은 가장 먼저 새만금 야영지에서 조기 퇴영한 나라 중 하나인데요. 미국 MBC 방송은 한국 현지에 있는 스카웃 대원과 화상 인터뷰를 통해 실시간으로 상황을 보도했습니다.
Well, tonight, Two on Your Side is talking directly with an Eagle Scout from Western New York who was among those attending the World Jamboree in South Korea. Eagle Scout Cooper Stenger from Troop 267 in Fredonia went straight from the National Jamboree in West Virginia and then over to South Korea for this World Jamboree. He did a pre-tour of the country for a few days, and then he and tens of thousands of other scouts from really all over the world went to the campsite there for the 12-day World Jamboree event. But a few days ago, the U.S. contingent decided it just wasn't safe to remain there. The scouts and leaders were evacuated to Camp Humphreys. It's a U.S. Army base to the south of Seoul. Two on Your Side's Rob Hackford talked with Cooper, who stayed up very late in Korea to tell us about the experience.
Around the time we were leaving, they brought in a lot of cooling buses. There were people going down the streets with water, handing them out. We were given umbrellas, hats. There was a lot done to try and prevent the harm that's caused by the heat, but we're already pulling out at that point. So then the following morning, we got up and we packed up. We packed up our site and we got in a bus and started our trip to Camp Humphreys.
Did you ever think, being a scout from Fredonia, Allegheny Hills Council, that you'd ever have the chance to be a part of something like this and something so unique, considering the weather, considering some of the circumstances that you guys have been forced to go through?
Not what we expected, but I would do it all over again. It's been awesome.
And as you mentioned there, it's still going to be a story to tell. It's still going to be something you've learned from and experience that.
If I ever see someone and they say they've been to the World Scout Jamboree in Korea in 2023, I think we will become friends very quickly. Anytime, I will remember this for the rest of my life, and as a very positive experience.
He told us despite the evacuation and all they've been through, he and the other U.S. Scouts are still having a great time. They just went to a baseball game a couple of nights ago. They even learned some K-pop dances recently, so really trying to make the most of it.
Might not have been the experience that we were hoping for, but it's still the experience of a lifetime.
호주 ABC 방송 역시 태풍 피해가 닥치기 전 적절한 시기에 철수시킨 한국의 빠른 대응과 이후 다양한 경험에 대해 긍정적으로 보도했습니다.
Karaoke was never in the plan for these Australian teenagers.
We were all kind of worrying about the heat and weren't really focusing on a typhoon hitting.
Evacuated from the World Scout Jamboree campsite, 14-year-olds Gordon and Christian are now having to make their own adventure. Luckily, Scouts are always prepared. Along with nearly 40,000 other Scouts, they spent their first night in the urban jungle of Seoul. Parents at home can rest assured, though,
we're an alternate, yet just as enriching program awaits.
whether it's team building or orienteering around a new city, it's already been an adventure they'll never forget.
캐나다 CBC 방송은 태풍이 북상하기 전 스카웃 대원들을 안전하게 이동시킨 한국의 발빠른 대처를 칭찬하며 긍정적인 반응을 보도했습니다.
To South Korea next, where a massive effort is now underway to relocate tens of thousands of young scouts and get them out of the path of an incoming tropical storm.
The World Scouting Jamboree in South Korea drew 36,000 scouts and volunteers from more than 150 countries, and that event includes more than 230 Canadian scouts. All of those people are now currently headed by bus to Seoul, the capital city, as part of this evacuation. But this is just the latest weather-related challenge since the event started last Tuesday. During the first week, the country saw dangerously hot temperatures. Some contingents even left the Jamboree, but the Canadian Scouts stuck it out up until this evacuation for this oncoming tropical storm. And while many Scouts say despite all of this, they're having a blast,
but as a dad, it's very tough being 6,500 miles from my kid and not being able to do anything, especially in light of all the news that's been happening. But he's been amazing at reassuring me through all this as well and making sure that I feel comfortable with him being there.
Now, despite the evacuation, Scouts Canada says the Canadian Scouts are in good spirits and plan to continue to enjoy the rest of the events as part of the Jamboree. Participants say being able to adapt, though, at times like these is really what being a Scout is all about.
I don't have control about the weather. I must make the most of it, and that's what Scouting teaches us. It teaches us to be resilient, to take things in our stride and handle whatever the situation is. We'll make a plan around it. And that's why I'm part of the Scout movement, because it teaches us these values and morals.
Now, the event is expected to continue until Sunday with some modified activities in Seoul. And while it's not quite the camping trip they expected, parents say it will still be a special experience for their children abroad and a great lesson in resilience. Deanna?
Absolutely. Probably not the trip they expected at all, but there's definitely some lessons in there. Thank you so much, Alex.
많은 해외 매체들은 대회 첫날부터 한국의 잼버리 준비 부실에 대해 질타를 날렸지만 빠른 대응과 국민들의 노력에는 아낌없는 칭찬과 감사를 보냈습니다. 미국 포브스는 세계 스카웃 잼버리를 구한 사람들이라는 제목의 기사에서 스카웃의 모토는 준비하라이지만 지난주 세계 스카웃 잼버리에 참가한 43,000명의 대원들이 경험한 새만금 현장과 조직위는 전혀 그렇지 않았다면서 극심한 대비 실패의 원인은 앞으로 몇 주 몇 달에 걸쳐 검토될 것이라고 지적했습니다. 그러면서도 주최 측 준비가 부족한 상황이 전해지자 즉각적으로 수많은 기관들이 돕기 위해 나섰고 특히 누구도 강요하지 않았지만 국민 전체가 나서 세계 스카웃 잼버리 상황을 나아지게 했다며 한국이 하나 되어 사후 대응을 위해 노력한 것에 대한 호의적인 반응들을 소개했습니다. 포브스는 영국 대원 2명의 학부모와 인터뷰 내용을 실었는데요. 그들은 한 목소리로 내 아이들이 기대한 잼버리 경험은 분명히 아니었지만 그들은 평생토록 간직할 일생일대의 경험을 했다. 인내와 투지, 리더십과 같은 소중한 배움을 얻었고 문제 해결을 위해 민첩하게 협력하는 방법을 배웠다. 또한 한국의 많은 조직이 연합하여 흥미롭고 유익하며 창의적인 프로그램을 짧은 시간에 제공해 아이들의 사기를 북돋아 주었다는 점에서 매우 감사하다고 했습니다. 브래드 발딩 미국 스카웃 대표는 대원들은 한국에서 풍부한 경험을 했으며 대원들이 가는 곳마다 시민들이 놀랄 만큼 많은 지원과 격려, 친절을 보여주었다라고 평가했습니다. 루폴슨 미국 보이스카웃 운영위원장은 지역사회의 많은 지원을 받았고 대원들은 캠핑을 하는 대신 한국을 배웠다. 특히나 한국 국민들은 믿을 수 없을 정도로 많은 지지를 보내줬고 대원들에게 힘이 되었다며 감사하다는 인사를 전했습니다. 여러분의 소중한 의견을 남겨주세요. 바쁘시더라도 구독과 좋아요 부탁드립니다. 지금까지 단골이시였습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다.